Game 1 up right now. This is where we get to see where, how much preparation both teams have done. Again, it's a game of adaptation with how recent the patch drop was. So Esports starting off with the Valentina ban and just prioritizing the mid lane. I do like this approach. Both mid laners have very similar hero pools.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a really big point of contention. But then again, there's a lot of meta heroes that are still extremely relevant. Joy, Kaja, Wanwan, Valentina all included. Ooh. Bit of a deviation here from Sway, getting rid of Brody so early on.
And it's not a hero that Arashiki plays much in the group stage, in the open finals as well. So this is definitely a deviation.
This could be an indication that they don't want certain things to be abused. For example, the but the Blade of Heptases in this particular case now having a extra effect.
Isn't that Sea Halberd?
Sea Halberd?
It's Sea Halberd.
It's Sea Halberd, my bad. Yeah, with the early item Sea Halberd, really cost efficient, gives you that early bit of damage, and more importantly, gives you a secondary ability, a unique passive that I wouldn't have expected to actually happen. But, well, we'll see if it actually occurs in the game with maybe a different marksman. Arlott, the follow-up ban from ALVA 8.
So far just common bans, maybe except for the Brody. We still have Kaja, Kadita, we have the Joy, Glue, couple more choices on the board. Only 2 bans left. We might see some of that slip through.
Yeah, I do hope that the Joy actually gets let through by ALVA 8. I don't think Sway Esports is going to touch it right now. Most likely, okay. I was expecting
there's a high chance it goes through.
Yeah, but you never know with these teams because so far Joy has not been touched throughout the tournament, and I'm not even sure whether they're aware of the changes. I'm pretty sure they are aware of the changes, but don't know how much of an impact it actually provides. So this is a good testing ground. I feel like if ALVA 8 wants to give it up, sure, because you still have options like Franco as well as Kaja to actually counter the Joy later on into the game or whenever they get into a team fight.
Yeah, one of the reasons we didn't get to see the Joy was also because she was perma-banned. And ALVA 8, they're thinking really hard about this. Do we take out the Joy, Kadita, Kaja? A lot of these priority picks are going to go through for Sway Esports. In this case, it feels like the Kaja is probably the juiciest one if you want a first pick for Sway. ALVA 8 banning out the Fire Missile. All the cards are now on the board, on the table.
That's a good ban. That's a good ban. Taking away the Farmers means that Sway Esports has to really commit to these team fights. They don't have a get out of jail card for free. And there we go. First pick Joy. This was what they were setting up for. ALVA 8 looking to get Kaja at the very least. You need some form of suppression.
Kaja is probably the easiest one to do so. Yeah. And I believe that Joy now has one less dash.
Yes.
So it's a bit easier to catch her, and ALVA 8 instantly locks in the Kaja. It's a decent trade that both teams are going for. And I think if you're on Sway's side, you can also go for Kaja first, depending on how you want to approach the game.
That's the thing. No matter what, I feel like whoever gets Kaja in this position is going to be the stronger one, right? Sway, they wanted to get the Joy. Let's see how much it actually is able to provide now that it has a little bit of, magic resist as well as armor after you use the ult. And I'm curious to see how much the shield and as well as the damage changes to the hero itself makes a difference. Like, will someone die in 2 dashes? I don't know, man. I have no clue. They just changed it today.
I guess overall, Joy still gets to do what Joy does best. You have the vengeance. It's generally hard to kill her already, and now you get the extra resistance. We can still expect kind of the same disruption from Joy. But we also have Ling and Carry, and now Sway building up a draft that has the ability to just instantly dive the backline.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot because now when you see Kaja, it's like, okay, if you only send one person to the backline, they're going to get Divine Judgment straight away. Now that you have your kill threat in Ling, if there's enough damage done by the Joy, Ling can just clean up the mess and he doesn't have to worry about the Divine Judgment. I like it. Fredrin gets locked in, and then after that we see the carry for the side of Sway Esports. So again, a lot of respect, both sides really taking into account the different weapons and different attributes of the heroes.
And I also want to say that ALVA 8 picking out the Claude, it is a point you brought up in the earlier series. When you have so much dive, instead of the Melissa, the Claude is also not too bad of an option, right? You have that get out of jail card.
Battle Mirror Image, still a good ability, very reliable, but okay, Lolita ban for the side of ALVA 8. They want to make sure that Sway Esports don't have any form of setup here. I still think Sway needs a way to kind of hard dive or kind of get access, but how would they do that? I mean, High Loss probably is by far the worst. Even though the Glorious Pathway is great, Hayabusa gets banned out, so Sway Esports are genuinely worried about their backline. It might give an indication that their supports aren't going to be as tanky.
Is Grok an option for Sway Esports in this scenario. Still have that roamer that they haven't picked up. Right?
Okay, I think it's more valuable for ALVA 8 in particular, but there's always the issue of carry, right?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it boils down to whether or not you can actually deal with that carry. And once carry gets 3 items, she's going to be very, very relevant in the game. And not to mention with changes to certain items, it could get even better. But ALVA 8, they managed to axe it out. Grok is gone, and now their backline is generally quite safe.
Yeah, and that was a hero I was looking for, Sway overall. But in this case, if you're ALVA 8, there are still certain ways that you can keep carry out of team fights, and I'm looking at Farsa right now for ALVA 8 with the Feathered Airstrike.
That's good thought processing, because Grok is a really easy way to stop the Feathered Airstrike with the Nature's Barrier. So I think it feels very straightforward from here on out. The Akai gets banned for the side of Sway Esports. Again, I am loving this coming out from both sides.
Now we really narrow down the hero pool of both mid laners, right? We haven't seen Eliora's pick, we haven't seen Barbichi's pick. The Farsa instantly comes up for ALVA 8. And maybe Barbichi is going to lock in that Eve. That has been the exchange that we've been seeing in the open finals between these two mid laners.
Okay, is there anything else? Anything else that could pose a potential threat? Kadita is still going to be quite relevant. And I think Kadita actually works well with the composition, because overall it's about diving the enemy team, right? And then I'm guessing only the support is going to be the one babysitting the carry at the end of the day. What support is going to be? Tough call. Okay, we're seeing the Yve coming up from Sway Esports. They want a little bit of both. They want to be able to peel. They want to be able to kind of set up a domain so that the rest of the members of Sway Esports can actually access the backline within a specific space.
Sway Esports looking for the roamer or break even. It's going to be the Franco.
Okay.
I think it's a counter suppress, I suppose.
I guess it's an enabler, right? Because you want to be able to kind of pull off whatever the support pick. But in this particular case, whether it's the Fredrin or even the Kaja, you want to have somebody tank the hook. If you see Feathered Airstrike, I'm just going to throw in that direction of the Feathered Airstrike. If somebody decides to block it, at least they're not in the way. But ALVA 8 with a great response here, locking in that Benedetta is going to tell us that ALVA 8, if they team fight, they're going to be able to make first move.
And how is this Benedetta going to play into the Joy matchup-wise?
Like every other matchup that Benedetta does, she clears the wave and then buggers off. Like, unless we see Hiroski really blunder in the lane, like miss a dash and he's left out underneath Benedetta's turret, then obviously there's going to be a big surplus in terms of like damage coming in from Jirachi, and he should be able to win the trade overall. But for the most part, Benedetta's just clear the lane, proxy, bail out, wait for the team fight.
Now, we talked about mech check, and we're seeing it right now between two XP laners.
Yep.
Don't get to see much Joy, so this is one of the rare moments that Joy is picked for the series. That itself, I think, would make this very, very interesting. We get to witness the change, and we get to witness how much impact Joy can bring.
All right, let's see whether or not it's going to be worthwhile as we start getting into this game. The upper bracket round 8 match number 3 between Sway Esports versus ALVA 8 in this best of 3. Only one of these teams are going to survive, and the other team will get knocked down to the lower bracket.
This is a grudge match, best of 3 that both teams have been through before. And now here they are with higher stakes on the table. But ALVA 8, again, we looked at individual matchups. The head-to-head is between both mid laners. We've discussed a bit on the hero pool and how they always go for these exchange, the Farsa and the Eve and the Valentina. Now we get to see the Farsa into the Eve.
Yep, and it's not going to be an easy matchup here. I am a little worried about ALVA 8, mainly because this Fredrin doesn't deal as much damage as before, so I don't think he's going to be that much of a kill threat to someone like Yome on this Ling, who can get in and out of fights pretty easily. And usually the big problem with Ling is that, yeah, I start to fall behind, especially when I'm up against the tank jungler who can basically invade me and I can't do much about it.
And I think the saddest part about Fredrin's damage nerf in that is also it impacts his durability in these team fights, right? You take away the damage, he regains last health. Jirachi might get doped by Gyome. He's gonna go for it. Tempest of Blaze, dodged by Jirachi. He can't get the first blood.
Yeah, he does not want to be... I guess it's just... He doesn't want to risk it, right? I mean, if he was really confident, he would absolutely go for the kill and actually try and dodge away from the Fredrin looking to taunt him under the turret, but Hiroski having it rough.
Should be fine underneath that turret. Zion not hitting that ult overall. It's gonna force Barbichi down, but we see both of them mid laners just showing up in that XP lane. But being able to force Joy back gives Jirachi a bit more room to work with.
I mean, I suppose, but I am curious. If Hiroski just tanked the ult, would he live? I feel like he does, but I'm also not 100% sure.
Maybe not with that health. But if he presses Vengeance, maybe yes.
If he presses Vengeance, he for sure lives, but I don't know. I don't know. With the changes, it looked like it definitely was possible there. But with Turtle falling into the hands of ALVA 8, they maintain the tempo for now. Let's see how Sway responds with a potential dive on top side. Oh,
Ricky is just gonna walk in, flicker, ulti, this should be first blood. Gyomei actually getting out with the battle image and now into the ult. He's the one that's gonna help Vinsmoke get, help Eliora get the first blood. Gyomei wants that one. Erashiki pulls up a magic trick, not able to get away in time, but Eliora has a better airstrike. Barbichi responding with his own ultimate, but not able to get a knockout, and Barbichi now might get knocked. Break even getting a hook onto Jirachi, but that's not the target. Can't get the kill.
Yeah, does not want to actually get into the middle of that one for now. Suede Esports. Okay, very interesting interaction, and Aaron almost outplaying the entire situation, but luckily Sway was still able to get one back. However, bottom side, we are just seeing Gyomei just putting a lot of pressure all across the map, and especially the side lanes.
And Jirachi, not the easiest target for them to take out, but you can see the prioritization to give Hiroski a lot more of that room. I do wonder if we would see this Joy go for the proxy, because Jirachi is already doing it. Hiroski is going to use that ultimate. Jirachi, can you get out of this predicament? Don't. Gyomei is waiting for the opportune moment, and Jirachi just gets out.
They have no information. That's why he's not actually committed. They don't know where the rest of the members of ALVA 8, but they're coming in for the dive on top side.
Oh, now they definitely know it's going to be a 4-man dive up top. ALVA 8 getting 2 quick kills. That's going to be pressure on the tier 1. Vinsmoke make sure to keep Barbichi in check. Meanwhile, Gyomei having his jungle infiltrator, trying to get that purple buff at least, but doesn't even get that.
Yeah, unfortunate for him, and I think now the snowball begins for ALVA 8. Again, they're using their lane priority and being able to force it very effectively with his Benedetta. It's working wonders, right? Because it feels like ALVA 8 are always one step ahead of Sway. They're able to dictate when play is going to happen in comparison to Sway, where it feels like they're being a little bit more responsive.
And you know, compared to the last series that these two teams faced up against each other, ALVA 8 so much cleaner. So much more control in the early stage, get the second turtle off the game for themselves as well. They definitely are prepared, but Jirachi is going to get ganked once more. Hiroski and Gyomei, this is attempt number 3 onto Jirachi. Still can't find it, but Gyomei, surely you will get that kill.
Oh, okay.
He's able to get it at least and get out with his life. Eliora not able to trade.
Okay. I'm surprised that Hiroski didn't decide to fully commit there, but then again, he is running out of dashes overall. We're seeing that Vinsmoke, I'm pretty certain, yeah, he knows.
Yep. They're gonna lose Eliora. Who surprisingly was standing in that rush. So Vinsmoke now has to defend this turret. Real world manipulation is out. Zion just casually walks in. Vinsmoke getting the drag onto Gyomei, but he does have the Tempest of Blade. Getting the kill on the Kaja. They did end up losing the carry though. Break even also not healthy. Both teams trading 1 for 1, but Hiroski will be able to get that bot tier 1.
Yes, the bot tier 1 is going to open up so many avenues for Sway Esports. Again, Sway Esports just really good at punishing an opponent, especially when they find an advantage. But ALVA 8 right now, systematic.
Erashiki so aware. Zion wants the purple buff, but actually ends up resetting the buff. Hiroski, he's just going to go for that ultimate. Zion gets the buff again.
Nah, he can't do anything about it. Again, Zion, fortunately, he's a level up, 2 levels up on Gyomei. No matter what Gyomei does, his retribution is always going to be smaller than Xian's at this stage of the game. Even though he's got 3 kills under his belt, the gold is great, but EXP would be more ideal.
It's just so much emphasis on punishing this lane. And Jirachi is also infiltrating the jungle. That's going to allow ALVA 8 to take this in tier 1.
Wait, are they just going to leave Fredrin? Yeah, wow. He just went into the grocer and was just picking out what he wanted. Like, he was not punished for that. A majority of the ALVA 8 members were on the top side. Sway Esports said, you know what? This just isn't worth it.
Vinsmoke getting rooted down, forced to flicker away. Well, at least for Gyomei, he now gets access to ALVA 8 jungle, right? He gets that purple buff somewhere and should be able to get out of this. They see him leap away, but don't have a way to stop him. The third turtle of the game, ALVA 8 on the objective.
Yeah, 4K ahead for now. But again, I don't think Sway Esports is even going to bother to try and contest this. The most they can do is look for a pick, but...
There you go, Jirachi with the Electro Final Blow. Gonna zone off the Franco. Break even goes down.
He didn't even try to like go for a hook into the bush. He just walked up hoping he could bait something out, but unfortunately giving his life on over there probably wasn't as worth it, because now it's really, really hard to actually maintain this space against ALVA 8. And if ALVA decides to actually...
Yeah, Gome just trying to secure as much XP for himself as possible. Jirachi is, like you pointed out earlier on, doing a fantastic job, right? All these lane pressures that this Benedetta is providing. He's drawing so much attention. Break even is going to come back with that ultimate, suppressing this Benedetta to finally get him out of the way. But that means that the mid lane is going to be under assault. ALVA 8 attempting to take this turret. Barbichi forced to cancel his own ult.
Nicely done by Barbichi, recognizing that yes, that the Divine Judgment will pull you out of the real world manipulation. It is not worth dying there, just let the tier 2 go. But ALVA 8 consistently, systematically just cutting away at the objectives, making sure that the towers are falling into their hand. Now with a clean 5k goal lead, this is what I was expecting from ALVA 8.
This cascading effect really started with ALVA 8 being able to put Gome on the back foot. This major setback. Can't win objective, can't win those retribution fights, and he's just not able to provide the early game impact that Sway Esports wanted. It seems like Sway Esports now are in damage control. They're waiting for Merps to scale up. They're waiting for Gyome to scale back up.
Yeah, but do they have enough time here? I mean, we don't even see the DHS coming out or even the Golden Staff coming out of Merps just yet, and he needs both of those items in this particular situation, right? ALVA 8, they've got a lot of tanky members in Zion, as well as Vinsmoke, who will eventually be building into that full tank, right? As of yet, he's already got the Radiant Armor. We are seeing, wow, Aaron deciding to already having the Wind Talker in his hands. Didn't even realize, but the man is 3 items into the game.
He is so far ahead. He is almost 3,000 net worth ahead of the carry.
Yeah, so I guess that's where the gold lead is coming from.
Arashiki just goes for it. What a madman, forcing the Tempest of Blade out of Gyome.
Oh,
and now they're coming for it. Actually, Arashiki ends up going down. Break even traces his life back. Not too bad of a trade for Sway.
Okay, all right. Not that bad. I really thought Arashiki was going to live there, but it's just the turret projectiles just being super slow. It followed him all the way back to his body, past the battle mirror image, almost towards Lord's side, and did... Oh, they also...
Oh, Hiroski, no, not that.
Oh.
Well, now we know that the ultimate still does decent damage.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts against people who are like, I don't know, 3 levels below? Yep, 3 levels below.
Yeah.
This is not going to be an easy game to come back, especially for Sway, because in terms of timing, a 4K gold lead in this particular case is great, but notice that the majority of the members from Sway Esports are only completing their second items, while people like Arashiki, if he just wants to be part of these fights, is more than enough to get the advantage in full 5v5s.
And just the level discrepancy between these two teams. You know, Vinsmoke has the same level as Hiroski.
Ooh. Ooh. That's so brutal. It's so brutal. Like the other members, unless you are Ling, Gyome is the only one having fun here.
Sort of, right?
Sort of, right?
Sort of.
It's conditional to... Oh, Vince.
Well, he's not going to have fun for much longer. Not with this Flicker Divine Judgment. Playtime is done. 30 seconds without the Ling.
Oh, what a terrible time. The poor man knew it was going to happen and he just didn't want to react to it. He should have just tried to clear that wave, but now...
Hiroski uses an ulti, forced to press the Vengeance just to mitigate some of that damage. They take care of the Lord, but they will lose this mid inhibitor turret. Arashiki is working on it, almost taking it down. The backdoor protection is there for Sway. That turret has taken major damage and Vinsmoke will finish the job.
Yep, these inhibitors are falling down super quickly. ALVA 8 wants to end this as quickly as possible so that Sway doesn't have enough time to actually scale up in this match. With 105 more seconds until the next Lord appears, ALVA 8 will now develop it. Oh, whoa.
Oh, they get the spread the bloody hunt onto Benedetta. Jirachi falls. Zion just flicker in. Arashiki once more right into the enemy base.
Oh, he gets it!
The kill onto Merps. Can they get Arashiki back? Gyome finds him. Get the hook onto Vinsmoke. 2 for 2 trades so far, but ALVA 8, they still have some damage to keep working on things.
Oh my god. Oh, you hate to see it. They shouldn't be trading 2 for 2, especially since they're ahead. But if they get one more inhibitor, it's worthwhile. But look at that!
Hiroski wants to run interference. Unfortunately, gets sniped by Eliora. You do not mess with this man. ALVA 8 getting the better end of that trade.
I gotta give it to Horowski. He tried. He really tried there. And he was so close to escaping at the same time.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for this meddling bird
But
and her
Aaron Shiki,
friends.
this guy is... He's a madman.
He really is. He really is. I think he understands that nobody really poses a threat, especially since, you know, if the Bloody Hunt has already been used, if the Iron Hook is already gone, Gyomei is going to have to alter something or something, and even then he can still just take his Battle Mirror image back. Like, there's not a lot of conditions, or in this case, not a lot of CC that Sway actually has to stop Aeroshiki from going in with the Blazing Duet.
And now he has the Malefic Roll as well.
Ooh.
Get ready to have your health bar absolutely shredded. By the way, 93% in favor of Sway Esports.
I think it's understandable.
It is understandable.
Yeah, especially with the you know, the PH Dynasty, but ALVA 8 might prove us wrong here. I mean, Claude. Oh, wait, is that a? Yeah, he is pretty much full build at this point.
One more item.
Yeah, one more item, but he's got everything he absolutely needs. Fredrin is coming at 3 items at the same time. Looking at... Oh, interesting movements coming out from Sway Esports. They're covering the top side. They know they're on Lord, but they're hoping that ALVA 8 actually has some stragglers.
Unfortunately, they will not find any from ALVA 8. This is a team that... so much cleaner from the last time we saw these two teams face up against each other.
Absolutely. I would say that Sway probably not exactly playing the best they could be compared to the last time we've seen them. It could be just like warming up to it all, but ALVA 8, you got to give it to them. They've improved significantly from the last time I saw them.
Oh, definitely. In the driver's seat from the very first minute of the game. Vinsmo just got the immortality, so Sway Esports now will have another layer of cash that they need to go through. Just trying to gather info as much as possible, but ALVA 8 are setting up all the waves to crash.
Yep. Sway Esports, if they can defend at least one of their inhibitors here, if they can minimize the damage that ALVA 8 push against them without losing their crystal, they can come back into this game.
ALVA 8 just took care of the bottom inhibitor, and now Vinsmo flicker in, gets the grab. That is the kidnap onto Merbs. Vinsmo will be dived on. Horowski also doing his best alongside Gyomei. They actually were able to take out Aaron Shiki. Sway Esports mounting a commendable defense. The Iron Hook on Zion. Perfectly done by Break Even, and that is going to keep Sway Esports alive in the game.
That's what you want to see. We see the aggression coming out from Vinsmoke of ALVA 8, and Sway Esports responds perfectly to it. 2 very good Iron Hooks coming in from Break Even to turn that fight around, and 2 important kills to trade up against an opponent who already has a 5k gold lead.
And this is the first time we really get to see how Sway Esports intended to play this composition, where you have both Horowski and Gyomei dive the backline, getting rid of the Claude, so at least you get to avenge that carry. And in the meantime, if ALVA 8 is the one diving, then Sway Esports can just let it happen.
Yeah, and I mean, the way that they played this, unfortunately, was, especially for ALVA 8, the Feather Airstrike was so deep in that it gets cancelled as soon as Horowski threatens him with the Vengeance. Like, they know that they can't kill him necessarily, but the follow-ups coming in from Sway Esports, the Iron Hook, the rest of the team members actually looking for an opportunity to zone away, knowing that Vinsmoke is basically out of these fights without the Divine Judgment.
Well, Horowski, as long as he steps on Eliora, that's an instant kill.
Yes, it is.
Overwhelming damage from this Joy. It's the end. Just force the flicker from Merbs. That is some resources expended from Sway. And less than 30 seconds until the next Lord.
Oh, Merbs does get that win. Oh, okay.
Finally.
He has the win chant. He will survive the next Blazing Duet unless somebody forces it out of him. And the only person who could really do that is Jirachi. And I don't know. So far, Jirachi, he hasn't been fighting these big...
Uh-oh. Bloody Hunt, Jirachi. That is the man. Dragged back by Break Even, who is so good on those hooks. But there it is. Aaron Shiki with the Blazing Duet onto Merbs. Merbs goes down despite having the win chant. A double kill going all the way of Vinsmoke. Sway Esports sent on the run. ALVA 8, they can't just go for the Lord, but they might just opt for the end, honestly.
I think the end is worth it. They don't exactly have the best heroes for this high ground effects except for Barbie Chi. So if they kill Barbie Chi, it's over.
ALVA 8 just gonna go straight for the crystal. Sway Esports, do you have enough to mount this defense? I don't think so. ALVA 8, first blood in this best of 3. An opening that I honestly did not expect from this team.
Yep. A really good opening. They've improved a lot, and they continue to show. They've beaten Sway Esports one time. It ain't going to happen. It's not going to change the past. The history ain't going to change because the future is now. ALVA 8 0-1 against Suede Esports. One more